Con su bondad, su cariño hacia todos nosotros. Cuando en una ocasión llegamos a una base,
on one occasion, we came to a base where by chance 4 of us were put together in the same quarters. All of us had similar nicknames. One was the Shrimp, Amadeo Castro. The other was the Frog, Angel Sanchez. Jaime Cenizo was the Duck, and I was named the Fish.
El otro era el Sapo, se apellida Sánchez Rebollo, Ángel Sánchez Rebollo. Jaime Cenizo Rojas el Pato, y el que habla, que mi apodo es el Pescado, y le pusimos un letrero muy grande en nuestra habitación.
We put a big sign over the entrance of our tent that read, "Welcome to the aquarium." This was the place that everyone would come to party. This is one of the reasons why Jaime had been loved by all of us. As a friend, pilot, person, as everything.
Como amigo, como piloto, como persona, como todo.
By the late summer of 1945, the Aztec Eagles had earned the respect of their Allied counterparts. Along with the dangers of combat missions, many pilots in the Pacific faced death in escort missions.
Captain Garcia Ramos went on a mission and was caught by a severe storm, a hurricane, in the middle of the Pacific. So he lost his position, and after he went out of that weather, he saw an island, and he observed the quantity, the amount of fuel he still have remaining, and he knew that he couldn't get any place but that island. But he couldn't land because he didn't know what island it was. So he bailed out, and he landed at sea. He used his life vest, and also the boat, the small boat we always carry with us flying over water. And after he wasn't in the water, he went to the beach and was hiding there for 2 days. Being there, he observed a PBY, a Catalina, that was flown by Australian pilots. And we had in our equipment a mirror to signal anything using the sun. And he did that, and the airplane understood the signals, but he didn't land it at that time. So he went out, and he was desperate because he didn't know if the airplane was going to come back to rescue him or not. The pilot in command of that airplane went to his base and reported that, but their commanding officers told him not to even try to land around there because that island was a Japanese island. This pilot went back anyway the next day and landed there, and Captain Garcia Ramos saw them and took his boat and rowed to the boat. He was rescued there and taken to their base, and after that he went back to our base after 3 or 4 days that we were sure that he was missing. That pilot was decorated by the Mexican government. After the war was over, he was invited to come to Mexico. He came, and he was presented one of the highest decorations the Mexican Air Force has.
With the liberation of Luzon all but complete, a new assigned target became the island of Formosa. Long-distance missions to Formosa were stressful.
Cuando usted va volando en formación y cruza la parte norte de Luzón y se introduce al mar.
Once we were flying in formation and crossed the northern part of Luzon Island over water, unable to see Luzon or Formosa, which was our destination, I would think, what if our 12 planes were attacked at this moment? We would have had to lose our auxiliary tanks, get in a dogfight, and most likely our fuel would be exhausted. We would be unable to return and have to bail out from the aircraft and wait for rescue.
Para que si caíamos en el mar, la misión de rescate nos pudiera rescatar. Es la misión más. Para mí, es la que más.
For me, these missions were the riskiest because of the fuel situation. Once I had the idea that if I didn't have enough gas to get back to Luzon, I would go to China, to an air base there and make a belly landing if I had to. I think Chiang Kai-shek was still in that area. This thinking was all to avoid being captured by the enemy. This was my thinking.
Todavía Chiang Kai-shek parece que tenía aliadas de probar no caer en manos de enemigas. Ese fue mi pensamiento más.
The endurance of those missions was the most difficult thing because we had to fly 7 hours and 15 minutes on a single engine airplane that barely could have the range that we're trying to hit those targets in Formosa, somewhere 600 miles away, the closest one. So that was 1,200 miles going up and down. Others were about 680 miles and one 720. So we came back with no fuel.
Yes, it was one of the probable factors that contribute to the missing or the loss of Hector Espinosa, which was a very good pilot and a very good friend.
Lieutenant Hector Espinosa was planning a career in the military where he enjoyed the freedom and adventure of flying. He had been married a little more than a year, and his wife was pregnant with their second child when the squadron was sent overseas.
In the morning, about 8 o'clock, when I wake up, and my daughter was already, you know, bathed and dressed, and everybody was up, and they were in kind of vacation there. And I said, well, I saw everybody, you know, and very much concerned about me. So my sister said, what's wrong? What happened? What do you feel? I said, I can't tell you. It's something that I know. So about 9 o'clock, a little bit after 9, my father-in-law came. I will never forget. And when I saw him, and I saw him with a black tie, his suit, you know, and a black tie. And he always called me muchacha. He didn't say Oralia or anything. And I saw him and he said, I heard that you didn't feel well yesterday. The Garduño said that they brought you home early, you know, that had happened, you know. What happened? I said, I don't know. And then I just pulled him, you know, from here like this. And I said, I know there's something happened. I think it's Hector. Something happened to Hector. And then he said, well, we don't know yet exactly. Maybe he's just lost. And by that time, they already have sent telegrams to whoever was in charge of them, even I think even to MacArthur and all that, because that's where MacArthur was. And then, thank God, that afternoon, I got a strange letter. Sometimes I think that Hector maybe felt something was going to happen to him, because he always wrote me in Spanish, and I did the same thing. And that letter that I got in that afternoon was in English. And he starts saying, I have the letter, and he starts saying that I know that by the time you get this letter, you're going to be very sad, you're going to feel sick. But I don't want you to feel like that. And I want you to know that I love you very much. There has never and will never be another woman in my life. You have been the only one, and I love you very much. And I'm sending this in English so the censor can read it fast, because you're going to need it by the time you get it. And that letter saved me, because I thought maybe he's a prisionero, you see? So they start sending telegrams and all that from where that letter came. And it helped me, because I thought that, you see? I even keep on writing him. And those letters, of course, they were returned to me.